Hello, good day, good morning. Hope you all are doing fantastic out there. Thank you so much for joining us for this bonus panel from the Pulse 369 Vegas conference. This was one of the panels that we unfortunately had a lot of audio issues, and we're not able to bring you a fantastic recording. But hey, this is going to be super extra special since we're doing it on the internet. We actually also have Firewhale able to join the Solid Index panel. So yeah, I'm gonna let these chads take it away. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Chrispyman, Randy Hilarski, Axis Alive, and the one and only Firewhale. Dun dun dun. And I'm just gonna take a back seat and let you gentlemen take it over. Whee.
What's up, guys?
Really, she just really
disappeared.
No.
Big hey now.
Nice.
Hey guys, good to see everybody.
Nice to see you guys.
Good morning, everybody in the States, everyone worldwide. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever you're at. We're back. We're back in action, and this time we get to do the full panel.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it was pretty good in there. It was pretty good in the flesh in Vegas. I think we had a pretty good time out there. There was definitely a lot of good networking that went down, and there's a lot of people developing interesting protocols, and so it was fun being able to network with everybody out there. And sorry we didn't see the 9-inch guys out there. Hopefully they could come to the next one. And
I know.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time out there, man. I mean, I thought we represented the index pretty well. And we have a lot of cool stuff planned. When I say we, I mean we have actually like 2 separate dev teams now working for the Solid Index. So I don't know if you guys want to start there and kind of talk about building that from the ground level up, and then we'll build into the community conversation toward like the middle part.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the PulseChain tour first for having such a great conference. I really enjoyed it. I know you guys did too, and allowing us to have the floor and speak, and the golf tournament and all that. It was fabulous, and kudos to the team.
Yeah, I was. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Just real briefly. Hey, thank you, Randy and to Annabelle, right, for manning the table and supporting that. I think in future years, I think that that whole vendor space, promotion space will be huge, and looking forward to that. But thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. I think conferences are so important, especially to know people in a more close manner, and doing some networking. There's always new connections, new friends, and you get more engaged in the community. And you guys are the ones who are bringing this community forward. And SJ with Black Hexagon as well, they worked very hard to make the conference happen, and I think it was a success. I was not there, but I was always watching the videos, the live stream, and also photos of the golf and stuff, and it looked pretty amazing. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just wish I would have done a little better playing golf on Sunday.
How did it go? Who was the winner?
Dude. All right, Kaylin, what did you do here? There, Kay, I think it was Kay's brother, maybe. He brought a team, and they blew everybody out. They won by like an unbelievable amount of strokes.
Really?
And most of us were hammered. We're hammered, from the night before or whatever. So it was, yeah, people were licking their wounds and playing to the best of their ability. But hey, the food was amazing. People got really huge rewards. Like the prize pool was like, I think there was like a $15,000 prize pool for first. So like that was sponsored by us. And then it was just like a really good it was. I think the way everything went out, what I was most impressed with was some of these younger guys, or some of the guys like building some of these other protocols. Like the actuator protocol comes to mind, and the Project Pi guys come to mind as like,
absolutely,
they really are standout builders in this space. And so that we have, I wouldn't say that we're in direct competition with them because we're building different stuff, but they're definitely trying to set a standard. So that was really cool to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually the Project Pi guys are actually coming on my No Permissions group next week and can tell everybody what they're doing. I was just totally blown away when they were on stage when they were talking about what they were doing. I was like, that is super impressive. But yeah, let's.
I was happy that we could get somebody up there that would be more technical than me.
Yeah,
You know, like the C3 Works guys from from Actuator. That drove me to go look at their protocol in more depth.
Yeah, it was great seeing the Actuator dev up there talking.
Yeah, I mean, when do you have that access? To the people that are actually building.
So I think like this all kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Randy.
This was a builders conference, in my opinion. The people that showed up were the ones that are building what's going on in PulseChain. The majority, it felt like. Everywhere you turned, oh, you're building this. Oh, you're building this.
That plays nicely into like my other point I wanted to make about that, which is that the Solid Index guys have had a pivotal role in helping network people and like connect with these guys and help develop their products as well. Like we're truly are like a community of people that branches out beyond just our own little token base, right? Like there's more to what goes on behind the scenes, I think, that doesn't get talked about a lot.
Yeah, we've personally helped, financed, done a lot of things behind the scenes. Nobody knows. It's okay though. That's fine. We don't need to. Everything doesn't need to be out in the open, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Even though Richard said publicly we shouldn't go to conference, something like that, I disagree. I think conferences are very important, especially for people who want to take a better grasp of who is involved, who are the guys building, who is trying to make new stuff, to push the chain and so on. So at least from my experience, from my job, I've been to many conferences around the world, and I can tell you some of these conferences kind of changed my life in the way that I met people who were eventually became very important for me, and it helped me in my business so much. So yeah, it's really important, and sometimes it's also fun because the richer guys you meet, like partners and people, sometimes the wildest the wildest times you have getting drunk and having fun is when you make like closer bonds and connections. It's just the way it is, so
true story. Or Marcus taking everybody up to the cigar lounge. Marcus from MCR, that was his thing. Let's go to the cigar lounge. All right, so let's get to the Solid Index stuff. There's a lot of things going on, guys. We've got Axis launched the Alive token. Chrispyman and I, we both have our tokens, no open fire, that are just going along with their liquidity pairs. And now we have the X game getting ready to launch, which could propel the whole index single-handedly. Really, we're hoping that it can. And I guess we can start off with that. Tiago, what is the time frame, do you think? Because people are knocking on the door waiting.
Exactly. So the time frame is right now. Today we will announce the public test. It's not a test net. It's on the main net, but it's a test version. So the community can start playing the game and testing it out and providing some feedback if they see something wrong or something they would like to be changed. So they can start to play around with the game and preparing, in essence, for the launch. Besides that, we are waiting for the international license, a gambling license, and it should take something like 1 month, maybe less, because it's already started 1.5 months ago, the process, and it usually takes 2 to 3 months. So we are waiting for that. It's as soon as we have the license, I basically just need to decide the day we want to launch, and yeah, I'm so excited. Like you guys know, I'm building this for almost 1 year. In 1 week time, it's going to be exactly 1 year since I launched Solidex with you guys. We all launched the token together, and it was very successful at the time. It was like 11, 12 days, always going up. was a bit crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited now because I think people still don't understand what we are trying to do, like creating the first decentralized casino. Not only the casino, but the affiliate platform as well is fully on chain and decentralized. And yeah, I'm not sure which one I'm more bullish for the casino or for the affiliate platform, because the affiliate platform or the partner system can really be a game changer, because whoever promotes the game, they will be taking profit daily in a revenue share structure. And it's when it comes to tech itself, it's kind of revolutionary and innovating like nothing before, because on the legacy casino industry you have two main deals for the partners. You have revenue share, you have CPA, cost per acquisition, which basically means getting money up front before you start to promote. And a lot of partners, they choose the CPA because they want to get money fast in the hand and promote the game and forget about it. And on the legacy casino companies, you get paid once a month when you promote the casino. But on this one, you will get actually paid immediately, instantly, with a revenue share deal, which never happened in the legacy casino industry. And the situation is actually making the CPA deal obsolete, because you don't need CPA deal because you can get fast money with a revenue share deal. You don't need to wait until the end of the month to get paid. So that's what I'm excited to see how it goes when people start to promote. Imagine they will be able to make a stream, promote the game, and they already made money on the stream while they are still streaming. The money is already coming in their share of the promotion. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. You already know I have experience in working in gambling, and now I'm trying to create the first benevolent casino, kind of, where the people involved, they are shareholders of the casino. That's the main idea.
It's pretty cool, man. This is coming from a guy who's really not much of a gambler. That. You asked me to go to the casino a couple times when I was over there, and I'm saying like, nah, I'm not that. Because I like to play games like that I actually stand a chance at. But
Exactly.
That said, like the fact that you're actually creating a revenue source for people to participate in. Look, what's the biggest problem we have on blockchains? It's the demand side. How can we create revenue streams and demand for our users that's in a fun and engaging way, where it's pretty passive? Like, I think that being is a pretty benevolent goal to hit. And so just seeing that come online, and then maybe even seeing more games built out into the future, this will be actually a first of its kind platform. So I'm excited to see it. I've pretty much been watching the process from the outside, not knowing what to expect, but yeah, these are the same things that gets me excited, is that it's innovative tech that's actually being pushing the boundaries of it's tokenizing and decentralizing casinos, man. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And while in the process, it's been almost 1 year since I'm building this. And in the process of building the affiliate platform, especially, I realized actually the blockchain is very good for affiliate platforms. I didn't have this notion, but the blockchain is actually very good to anything that has to do with money transactions. That's what it is. So for an affiliate platform to be on chain, it actually makes so much sense. I don't know how nobody done it. There's the affiliate platforms for crypto, but not for gambling, in crypto. So yeah, I saw a market opportunity. I saw something new that I could try to see how it goes. And we are getting close to the finish line. But my intention is really like this game, this casino, online casino, all it's going to do, it's going to reward the partners who promote it, the affiliates, and it's going to reward the holders. And that's it. All the economic energy is being redirected to holders and partners. So this game will live for them. So as long as people are playing and the game is alive, partners are making money, holders are making money, and I will be happy. Then besides that, it's just trying to onboard some users from other chains. We are already integrating other chains. We already integrated Coinbase. Coinbase is ready for launch. it's interesting because you can go to the website and test both PulseChain and Coinbase, and you will have a feel of the experience of both chains. You know,
Yeah, can you
Coinbase
give
is
a
a bit
little bit
faster.
more perspective on why and how you chose to do multi-chain and how it all kind of feeds back to PulseChain? Kind of just your thought process behind it.
Yeah, sure. My main idea behind cross-chain was really, to be honest, to vampire attack other chains, to bridge value into PulseChain. For many reasons, because I want to help Richard, because I'm so tired of seeing money bridging out from other chains instead of coming from, other chains. So the idea has been always since the beginning, like there's the original Solidex token, and we will try to use a protocol on Ethereum called XLR. So I'm sure you know about it, you've heard about it. And what this protocol does is provide many solutions of chain interoperability. So it allows you to do cool stuff like deploying your PRC20, your PulseChain token, in other chains. That's the cool part. Like, I don't need to create a new token on other chain. I can just deploy the Solidex token there, and it will be Solidex from PulseChain on that chain.
EVMs. That's what's so cool
EVMs.
about Ethereum Virtual Machine, is that we could take it to any blockchain.
Exactly.
That's
and
EVM.
XLR provides you to the ability to integrate into any EVM. And I think they were still working to integrate, in this case, Solana as well, which is a SVM. But I think they will integrate it soon if they didn't do it already. I need to check. So that's the main idea, like provide the ability for users to play the game in the casino in as many chains as possible, burning our token on PulseChain, and also, like, would be nice for you guys to try to find influencers and people with audiences from other chains, because you can recommend them to promote the game and become a master affiliate because you brought them, and you can also make money with their promotions. So yeah, I'm trying to provide, like, the affiliate platform itself. It's not an MLM multi-level. It's just 2 levels, It's the direct level where if you promote with your link, you get 30% of the profit. And if you find someone to promote, then you get 5% of that person's profit. And you can bring as many people as you want, You can bring 10 guys to promote the game, and you make 5% of these 10 guys altogether.
Beautiful. I think that's where the big money is going to be, obviously, being a master affiliate. But
Yeah.
there's people that have huge audiences that would make a killing off just having the direct signups as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can have both,
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
So there's like maybe the next, I don't know if I'm cutting in here, but the next probably big component to this whole what's been going on the is probably to touch on the liquidity side of things. What's been going on, big changes that have been made in light of the purple copy fiasco. So we used to have a lot of value tied up with Solidex, with P.DI, and Purple Bitcoin, and that's all been removed now. And in its place now we have PulseX and Inc. And there's, I think, $1 million on both pairs. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's like $1 million of PulseX and $1 million of Inc.
Exactly. There's 1.2 million or 1.3 on both pairs.
So what this does effectively now, given the new conditions that we're in with the lower APRs across the farms and the lower hex staking yield, is it gives us this basically opportunity to hyperbond in a way that most other players can't do because of the sheer size of the bonds to Richard tickers, which effectively makes us like an extended Richard ticker. Like we'll just go with them. And because so much value has been bonded to PulseX at this point, the drunken sailor bot is going to buy and burn us as well. So what you're going to get is like a double burn effect. It's going to compound because PulseX is going to be buying and burning away, which is going to be pulling the network up, and Solidex with it. And then at the same time, our products are also buying and burning our tokens as well, either through the platform on the X game or through Alive. Like I think Alive already burned like 20% of the Axis supply. And so it's just we're deleting our coins out, not us, but just through the actual choices made by the users in the system. They're choosing to burn value away, and I think that's going to work out nicely. We're going to get like a lot of double and triple dipping on on the buy and burn stuff through actual use. So I think that's the key component there, and through hyper bonding to that PulseX pair. And I think Ink's going to be pretty scarce moving forward as well. So any thoughts you guys might have on that? I know Crispy probably wants to weigh in a little bit.
I guess that was my cue. Yeah. I mean, I think that there are some other things we're doing as well to burn away supply, but yeah, it's changing the dynamics quite a bit. The thing is, with any of these things, it takes a long time sometimes, right? Yes, big money and hard money, pressure will change the ratios quicker. You'll see more effects, but it's a very long game. It's a marathon, not a race, right? And so this is going to go on for, dare I say, decades. I don't know, but we're certainly looking at 4, 8, 12 years. In the meantime, we should be looking to see some of these dynamics really helping to support price, drive things up. Makes a great place for traders. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And even like Axis was talking about the burns that we have in our chain, both on PLS and PLSX, and now Pump.tires is more of that. There will be burning more PLS, and it will burn more PLSX as well. It will burn both PLS and PLSX, and the more volume it has as a whole, the more it will pump the users. It's just another mechanic, another protocol, another mechanism that will pump the chain, and this is what people need to realize. Like I, as a lot of people know, I was a big fan of the P copies and P-dye. I bought all of them, huge amounts, but you need to be always, adaptable to any situation. And like, we saw what was happening. We saw there was an exploit. Okay. There's a guy who is extracting value from all of us. There's no one who is not extracting value from on the chain, from everyone, and it took a while for our leader to come and explain things in a better way. But when he came, he did. It was direct. He set the pace. He said what was going on. He was honest and so on. So now I think, guys like Somi and old like 9iron Capital and Coexist and these kind of guys, I feel them. I was a big believer just like them, and I was expecting P-dye to be one of the best performing coins of the whole cycle. But sometimes, you need to adapt your worldview, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I think I had to choose, and I would choose this situation any day long, even though maybe I will not sell all my P copies. I will still believe in some of them, like Crispy was saying. He will not sell his bag completely. I might do the same, because you never know what the future might hold. Like, there might be a fix to the exploit, and then the people get crazy again, and we are back, and starts pumping to the moon again, But as I see it right now, I see one influencer, in this case Somi, pushing all the community to do the wrong thing, And this is just like, bro, come on, what are you doing? Like, you are Somi, you grew your audience so much, more than most PulseChain influencers. You did a good job to keep the community engaged and, do his bit. But now he's like doing this kind of stuff. It just doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
And the reality,
I would
just
say,
to finish, just when my train of thought, Chris. And the reality, I think what happens is like, unfortunately, Somi is doing it because he's so invested. He has a lot of P-dye, and because he wants to sell it at a higher price, to take some of the money back, he's pushing the community to buy. And this is wrong. This is just madness. It doesn't make any sense. And he actually deserves to lose the money for doing this, when it comes to fairness and stuff. So that was all. Crispy, you can go ahead.
I was just going to add to what you were saying. I don't think my opinion on this for our stream here, we probably shouldn't deep dive into P-dye, but I do appreciate all your comments, right? And the reason I'd say that is, listen, there's still hundreds of people out there, maybe thousands, that are believing. And so I don't think we're going to solve it with this stream. And I don't want to take away from what we're doing with the solid index. I mean, we were all tied pretty strong to it, and the bonding was real, and it did hurt us.
Yeah. It did. It did hurt us on the way down, and I was a big believer. Before I added big amounts of the LP, I consulted with you guys. You all thought it made sense, and PDI was pumping it sometimes in the past, and it was nice. But now it's a different situation, so we need to see.
Hey guys, I do have the definitive word here of what happened, and Sami put out the tweet saying that breaking emergency. It has been discovered that Richard Hart has been answering his tweet questions by doing transactions on the chain. Stop buying PDI. He then made a link to transactions, and then he swapped for Nope. Let's go. Blockchain is speech. Nipple stay pegged. PDI to $1. So Richard actually bought some Nope token as an exclamation point.
Exactly.
Nope.
To say nope, don't do it.
We got to tell him about the Yep token so he can buy Yep.
Yeah, you got to do Yep as well.
Blink your eyes twice if you're being against your will, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool thing about Nope that I didn't anticipate, that people can actually communicate with the name of the token, in the on-chain.
I loved it. Someone sent me that this morning. I was like, "What? That's so cool!"
Exactly.
And even Money Gang, he did a live stream a couple nights ago, and he came across one of the wallets that was doing PDI transactions and stuff. And he saw Nope in the wallet. And he goes, "That's super suspicious." Yeah, it is. People are using it as a way to say things in the blockchain. That's pretty cool.
Do you want to touch on maybe the meme launches you did last night?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, sure. So it was like, I've been thinking these last days about all the situation, and what to do. I've been deep thinking, and I'm an open-minded guy. So, like in the start, I was like, no, I don't buy it. I'm gonna keep my PDI, and that's it. But I started to speak with more and more people, paying more attention to Richard Hart tweets, and I realized that the sad reality is, even though it was a good idea to have the P copies and bridge users from Ethereum because they have free tokens to check our chain, and then maybe they will stay in the chain, the sad reality is that these tokens were just extracting value from the PulseChain community, from all of us, and you can see tokens like the forked copy of Pepe, which even recently was pumping quite well, the forked version of Pepe. What would happen is that the Pepe original community, they would get the notice like, hey guys, the forked Pepe on PulseChain is pumping quite well. Why don't you go there and dump it down, And there was a call to action in the community. They would come to our chain and dump on all of us who were buying their tokens, And this had the potential of happening infinitely through all the ERC20 copies. So, I think with time you see what works better and what's not working so good. And I think what Richard is trying to do, and that's why I support him, is he's trying to remove the mistake and remove the liabilities that the chain has as much as he can, And that's why he's like redirecting people now to Pump.tires, because it might actually work, By the time Ethereum starts to pump, and some users from Ethereum get rich, they will look for second opportunities, and they will see PulseChain pumping, and they will bridge. And when they bridge, they are already familiar with the Pump.fun idea, and protocol. So they will find it here as well, except here it's kind of a benevolent Pump.fun, because compared to the Solana Pump.fun, where one guy is making all the money from the fees from all the users, in this case, the money from the fees is being used to pump all the community, all the tokens of the community. So, yeah, I think the P copies can still work. Who knows? But it's not looking like they will, because when you copy the system state of Ethereum or any other chain, you are copying, like he said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you copy the best protocols with amazing features, and you also copy the admin keys and all the protocols with executable mints, and so on. So, there are some projects that you can do almost nothing to fight these issues with admin keys and minting functions, and you will basically be in the middle, like begging for your money, and yeah, that's not how
I'm really
crypto should be.
liking. So I mean, in regards to you launching some tokens, like it was obviously I've been I'm looking at Pump.tires. It's burning a shitload of pulse every day. The way that those tokens are launched on there makes a lot of sense economically and for the long-term sustainability and viability of like new tokens. It's nice to have a foundation of pulse in there that's bricked into the network. Like if you're going to do a buy and burn, this is probably the ultimate way to do it, is to literally burn pulse while also burning a pool away against pulse. Just a starter position, right? So that like the LP games can't be played as well. There's more of like a steady game that everyone kind of knows the distribution off the launch. I mean, the Pump.tires launches for all intents and purposes are, I would say, more fair than just a random launch, So that part's pretty cool to me. And we're seeing a lot of success in actually the launch of these things. Firewhale launched a few, and then one of them came out of the boardroom, and with a little bit of creative bonding and math, they're pumping all of our index tokens around it. So I just think they're pretty cool. At first I was a little bit hesitant with the Pump.tires thing, and I was kind of away at that period, but now that I'm back in action and we're seeing good use of it, it was the right play, and it's a way for us to show support for RH in a time when I think he needs it. So the chain needs it really. So yeah, it was good on you to do that, and we're seeing success with it in the charts. So.
Exactly. And if you believe it's going to work out, if you believe Pump.tires is going to work out, then we should definitely have our tokens there. Because imagine there comes a new guy that never used PulseChain and is trying everything out and goes to Pump.tires and finds Solidex there on Pump.tires, except it's not my Solidex. It's someone else who created Solidex on Pump.tires. There might be a chance that they will buy this token thinking that it's the original or related to me, and so on. And I think that's exactly the reason why Richard Hart created Hex and PLSX and PLS and all the tokens, Inc. and DAI and USDT. He created all these tokens on Pump.tires so that when people are researching about our chain and checking the coins on Pump.tires, they will think that these are the ones, even if they are not. So that's why he's already protecting some of these noobs that will come in, that will buy the hex of Pump.tires thinking it's the real hex. But it doesn't matter because Richard still controls the supply and he's not going to dump. So that's kind of what I'm going to do as well. I created the copy of Solidex token. So now it's mine there and it's available on Pump.tires there. I created the xgame.io as well to try and promote the domain further, using basically the X screener the listing to promote the website as well. I thought it was a good idea. And also to protect my brand, what I'm building. I'm building Solidex, xgame.io, and Firewhale, it's kind of the nickname the community gave me. And I'm also like tagging that, because imagine you go to Pump.tires and there's another Firewhale token there claiming it's me, but it's not me. People will get wrecked, So I think this way we avoid some future wreckage.
Yeah, especially if you're also using the same web address, or not web address, sorry.
Exactly.
Blockchain address.
Yes, same OA address, exactly. They can check on chain that it's the Firewhale address.
Yeah. Hey, and to address your, how you launched last night, obviously we didn't know you were doing it. You did this on your own ahead of time. And then, but I saw it all get posted, and I went to look at the tokens, and I was like, "Damn, they're already launched!" Right? That was pretty seamless and great because So a couple things about Pump.tires, really good platform, but that doesn't mean people don't take advantage of you. When they're doing it. Yeah, of course, because it's crypto, it's DeFi.
Exactly.
Right? And so people will do what they're going to do. They're going to play their games, but it's a great way for a group of people to collaborate. But I do think it's important to move pretty quickly through the launch. right? Because so many of them fail to launch, right? Now, while they're sitting down there and they're not launched, yeah, they're burning Pulse, but they switch over to burning PulseX only, right? Once they get launched, and that's pretty cool. But the outcome for somebody who wants to launch a token, maybe they don't have the full 200 million or whatever. It's a really great way to build it up because you can get some help from some other people, and it's trustless in that the LP initially gets locked, right? Well, no, the LP's locked, but I mean, that's all the LP that exists at that moment in time when it launches. And that creates a really nice base for, like, everybody knows that original Pulse LP is not going anywhere.
Exactly. And there's the target threshold of 20 million PLS when you get upgraded to PulseX. And it's funny how it works because when you create the coin, you can even buy all this 20 million and launch, like, upgrade it automatically. Or you can allow the users to also get a good chunk of the supply. And that's like on both, I created 3 tokens. So Solidex and X game, I got most of the supply from Pump.tires. But on the third one, Firewall, I only got around half of the supply, 55%. And that provided the Pump.tires users to have a better opportunity to buy cheap and buy a chunk of supply. And it was exciting to see because it was the third token I launched yesterday. And as the other ones, they couldn't bid on Pump.tires because it was upgraded to PulseX straight away. But the Firewall one, in a matter of 1 minute or 2 minutes, it was upgraded as well. Like everyone made the few buy orders in 1 or 2 minutes, and and it was upgraded straight away. So of course, like, now people will take profits, and that's what it is. That's what this is. The concept of Pump.fund, the meme coins. It's you pick your favorite and hope for the best. And one of the things that made me, like, really become more bullish about it was imagining a future where Pump.tires actually becomes successful and there's actually a lot of volume on these meme coins. And then it might become just like Solana, where if one coin was popular and pumped a lot, even if it has a big retracement, when the macro sentiment comes back, these meme coins will pump again. These Solana meme coins will pump again, and they will get back to all-time highs. That's what's going to happen. So if something similar happens on PulseChain, then I think Richard did the best thing he could to fix this whole situation.
So ultimately, what was your reasoning? Franklin's asking in the chat, what was your ultimate reasoning for giving up on the PDI narrative?
So the main reason was, like, thinking to myself, man, I can't do this. I cannot keep supporting a token that is affecting people's life and all of us, because the exploit is real. In the beginning, I didn't know. I was not sure. I thought the exploit was insider. I was secretly praying to myself that the exploiter was Richard, an insider, or the DOA. That's what I believed. And slowly, I start to see, okay, no, this is real. There's something going on. I start to see other actors in the chain taking a deep dive and trying to help, to fix the situation. So it was a combination of a lot of things, but it was realizing that admin keys suck and there's little to do about it, unfortunately. And from the point you copy all the protocols from Ethereum, you are taking all the admin key bullshit from Ethereum. And in the case of MakerDAO, one of the few ways it could be solved would be the founders of MakerDAO protocol coming to PulseChain, interacting with the contract, and activating their admin keys. That would be one of the only things that could save it. And now I ask you, like, does it make sense that this is the way? It doesn't make sense. Like, it happened now with PDI, and it would happen in the future with any other P copy that starts to have a lot of liquidity, that moves the mechanisms of the system inside, because liquidity is important to how it operates. And now it's PDI. In the future would be PWBTC or would be Liquidity. some protocol with admin keys that would create similar problems. And then we will lose money again, all of us, and it will bring the chain down. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a snowball effect. And yeah, that's why I've kind of decided that because look, I was one of the biggest believers in the P copies since the very start. Like, I really wanted to make it real, and I felt like it was one of the biggest weapons for PulseChain to be special, to become special, was the copies, and also the first ever decentralized stablecoin, building on top of what Maker was doing and making it better. That's what I thought was happening behind the scenes with Richard's team and even the Atropa guy. But now a lot of things have changed, and even the Atropa guy seems to be a malicious actor, like quite obviously. Because when everything is unfolding, why would you sell 500,000 or more of Atropa on top of your followers? Like, doesn't make any sense. It was just ridiculous. What he should have done is like remove liabilities, just try to pull LPs here and there, make the LPs as thin as possible, and then allow the community to exit while they can, not exiting you before, not giving a fuck about anyone, and just dumping on your followers, like while streaming live, by the way. It was
this is
live
part
streaming.
of the beauty of not burning your LPs for eternity, is that you actually don't have to take such an action. So,
Oh, yes. That's
something
right.
to think about.
We just talked about this yesterday in our no permissions in our call that maybe burning LP is not a good idea.
It's not, and I see these
I mean,
guys.
we've known this since Wise Token back in fucking 2020. Like, everyone's seen the chart. Like, I talked about it for 3 years now. Exactly. It is a concern because of this type of stuff. Now, I'm not saying all burn liquidity. I'm not saying all burn liquidity is bad either. So don't get it twisted. But
yeah, I agree.
No,
but it's just risky.
Yeah, it's a benevolent act. That's what it is that people see. But that's all it does is demonstrate. That doesn't affect price, right? It doesn't affect what people do and their behaviors, other than how they might be influenced by that benevolence. But you knew, but people knew for sure, right? With the Atropa, for instance, right? The Atropa was PDI.
Exactly.
Right?
It was a mirror.
Yeah, sent a
PDI.
message. Yeah. Hey, I just want to make a comment about the PRCs. Listen, I know right now we're in the aftermath of the whole PDI thing, and no, I don't know why the count of PDI is going down versus up, and at this time and all that stuff. But here, just general statement about PRCs. The PRC dream is not dead. In that, listen, there are a whole bunch of protocols, thousands of tokens, right? And so not all of them even have keys. Right. And not all of them are super complicated stuff. Right. And so there are just simply tokens out there that people like on both sides. And I know Sonny's Pub, the folks, Sonny the Detective, the guy is really kind of like worked really at the low levels with this. It sounds bad in that way, but I don't mean it like below level, but just working at a kind of grassroots level. There are a lot of these tokens that get paired up together over time. If there is adoption, very slowly, they can come to parity. Now, I'm not talking about to take PDI out of your mind. I'm just talking about these tokens that are out there. So there's still a path for good communities that might want a better environment to come to PulseChain, and they have tokens on both sides, and they can bring the value.
Well, we do have P-Hex, and that seems to be doing pretty fine.
Exactly.
Great example. Great example. Right.
Yeah,
Frank,
but I agree.
go ahead.
I agree with you, Crispy. Like, there's some protocols that they don't have so many liabilities, and if the community wants to focus on that one, I'm totally fine. But it doesn't make sense to me for the community to keep like believing almost in an insane way in the ones that have big attack vectors and vulnerabilities and admin keys and are constantly at risk forever. Anything can happen. Like, why are we, putting our faith into these things when we can get a big surprise at any given time into the future? It's just too much risk. And I know high risk, high reward. That's true. But there's also high risk, high stupidity. So,
hey, listen, I buy lottery tickets all the time, right? And, yeah, that's exactly. How many times have I won the lottery? It's been 40 years. So and so my point, yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that. There's some things like that, but I think this is the kind of thing we got to teach people, right? We don't have to, but I mean, you want to share with people is like, yes, sometimes risk mitigation makes sense with some of this, but you know what attracts everybody. Firewell, right? I mean, same with all the rest of us. I love the idea that I bought, a million PDI for $1 million pulse, and it might be $1 million at $1.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I like that,
Sure.
right? It's right there in the lottery,
Exactly.
I mean,
The lottery, what you're talking about, the lottery is exactly the place where it lies the highest and the biggest opportunity possible. It's in this kind of situation that there's more opportunity. But one thing is having opportunity when the path ahead looks clear. Another way is this PDI situation when you know that it's affecting the chain and you are still saying, yeah, let's go to $1, guys. Let's pump to $1. Let's give Vietnam more donations with our money from all of us. It just doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Like, why are you promoting PDI? Don't you listen to the leader himself, what he's saying? Why are you still promoting PDI? Why are you still giving money to Vietnam? Why we just don't try to all together as a community pull our LPs, make it go thinner and thinner until it becomes irrelevant and it doesn't affect us anymore. It's as simple as that. But unfortunately, Richard cannot do it by himself because PulseChain is a decentralized chain and people can do whatever they want. So if people decide to keep it alive, it will keep it alive. But, does it make sense that Somi now wants to save his unbelievable bag while there's an exploit and people are losing money every day to Vietnamese hackers? Like, does it make any sense just to save one guy to jeopardize the rest of the community? I like Somi and thank you, Somi, for everything you do, but fuck Somi, you know what I mean? To be honest.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Franklin? And I saw Luna just made a comment about it as well, about dilution theory, about having so many tokens on PulseChain. Is it diluting our money? And I think it could be.
Yes and no, because you are diluting your money in like lesser cap coins. And when the bull market kicks in again, everything on PulseChain will go up and some things will go higher than others. And maybe your little money you put in some small jam will actually be the money that made you more profit. It's very possible. It goes back to what Crispy was talking about, the lottery situation.
For sure. Gentlemen, I do have to leave in like 5 minutes. I have a doctor's appointment. But the Solidex game video is loaded if SJ wants to play it.
We're taking it higher. Solidex is burning, this token's fast. Solid's the crazy, inks ablaze, the fire is cast. Solidex crashing, the future's so bright. Launch to the stratosphere, we ignite tonight. Crash, the game be alive. Blockchain gamblers ready to thrive. Solidex, crash game. The blockchain's on fire. Push it, push it, push it, push it. We're taking it higher. Solidex is burning, this token's fast. Solid's the craze, inks ablaze, the fire is cast. Solidex crashing, the future's so bright. Launch to the stratosphere, we ignite tonight. Crash, the game be alive. Blockchain gamblers ready to thrive. Solidex, crash game. The blockchain's on fire. Push it.
Got to give credit to AJ Ripcity for making that video.
Yeah, cool video. Yeah, by the way, this domain cost me around $35,000. I had to bid for it, the xgame.io. I tried to get xgame.com, but the owner didn't want to sell it. So I thought that .io made more sense. It's the Web3 domain.
Yeah, absolutely. Way to go. Cool.
Yeah.
Pulling a Richard Hart play right there. Getting a really good web address.
No, man. Yeah, it's so important. Even for my company, I have a good one, as you guys know. So, yeah, like I'm investing a lot, guys, to do this, and I hope the community understands that this isn't. Hey, Maximus.
He's coming to tell me that I gotta go.
Were you playing
All right,
Fortnite? Buddy?
AJ, hello, AJ.
SJ.
SJ. But AJ's here.
He's in the chat. Yes, he is.
Hello, AJ.
All right, guys. Well, I do have to go. And thank you everybody for coming together and getting through this.
He has to go to doctor's appointment for the whole month.
Yeah, every day for the month. Yes, it's so much fun. And you guys coming together and staying through this difficult time and not losing our shit. I think that's a great sign of leadership for all of us, that we're able to keep calm when the storm was here.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, believe in yourself.
That's
Right,
all you need, Max.
Oh, hey, SJ.
Hi, Maximus. Thank you so much, Randy.
We're out. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Randy.
Bye.
See you, man.
Cool. Well, it's kind of up to you guys. If you want to continue it all, you can. If anybody else needs to go, we can wrap it up. I know the panel, I mean, in real life, it was only maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But I don't know. What are you guys feeling?
Yeah, let's go.
Up
The
to you
last
guys.
9 minutes left. We'll just kind of do closing statements and thoughts, and kind of how we're like a prospective of how we're seeing the chain moving forward, how we see the markets looking on the macro. Any
Brilliant.
insight that these two guys can give us would be great.
Awesome. I'm gonna do a self. Wait, what's the word? Shameless self plug.
No, why don't you? I want to hear you as well. Speaking about the conference a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
well, so one thing that, you guys were talking about how valuable it's been, right? These conferences and meeting people in real life. And I've had the pleasure of meeting all of you in real life and hanging out for some time. And that is really what has kept me in the community, right? Like price for me, what I invested originally has been down this entire time. But I say it over and over again, my life, the people that surround me, my community, it's done a 10,000x. And that's why I'm here. So part of, keeping that momentum and, supporting other conferences, right? Like getting to go to the Nope conference in Panama was awesome. Like, I can't wait for the day that all of our little kind of groups and sub communities have our own conferences and are doing our own thing. Right. And then we come together for a big conference and stuff like that. One little thing I wanted to mention is last month, I think we started it, but Chris, who also goes by Canadian Grateful, he's the founder of, I think it's Gelato and Stacked, and real cool guy. Met him as well in person, and he and I started doing a trivia night. So once a month, we are giving away thousands of dollars of crypto. Last month, I think it was over $3,000 we gave away. And this month it's going to be on April 1st. No jokes about it. Ain't fooling no one. April 1st on Tuesday, we'll be giving away another few $1,000s in crypto. So
That's the Solidex birthday, by the way.
Oh, how lovely. So
I
we'll have
created
a celebration.
on the day of the life.
Beautiful.
Just created 1st of April. So yeah, I saw the first stream you did with Chris to school.
Mhm.
And the people loved it. There's nothing they like more than free money. So
Yeah, and anyone can do it. Like, you don't
if you
have
keep doing it, especially when the macro starts to change and there's more attention in crypto, and you guys are doing this, I think it can help a lot PulseChain.
I hope so. And we both have a great time doing it. So just wanted to plug that real quick. And then just thank everybody. Thanks again for all your support. Everyone that's here watching this, everyone that came to the conference, anyone that tweeted about it, posted about it, commented on a post about it, like all of those little things add up. And they all help to bring awareness to what we're doing, And as of right now, we do absolutely plan to do it again next year. So March 6th through 9th, 2026, we're going to be in Vegas again doing the Pulse 369 conference. So mark your calendars now.
Cool. Maybe I'll go to that one. We will see.
There you go. All right, well, I'm going to back out and let you guys chit chat about the markets and charts and all those things.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So if ETH is at what? If ETH hits 10K next year, you'll be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
If it hits 10K, I'll be there. Yeah.
All right. Let me
And
grab
also,
make a call quick.
okay. Uh, do it now.
Yeah.
And,
Do it now. Send that shit to 4K.
do it now. And I was also like interested about maybe one day going to the Bitcoin conference in Vegas, Bitcoin
Yeah.
2026. I think this is the biggest crypto conference in the world, and especially if you catch it like on a good sentiment, it must be amazing. All
It would-
crypto making money, and you go to Bitcoin.
It would be really cool to
2026.
have some solid index and PulseChain representation at the Bitcoin conference this year.
Oh yeah, why
I
not?
think it's in. I thought didn't it happen in Vegas? Maybe in April. Maybe it's coming up. It's not far off. If it's not already happened, let's see.
I think the last year was in June.
see.
Bitcoin 2026 in Vegas, and you can buy the ticket already. Some people bought.
So
I
if there's
think many
any PulseChain hexagons out there that are going to be at the Bitcoin event, maybe it's worth reaching out to one of us and let us know, so we can start to get a head count of how many of our people are going to be there. Yeah, it would be really cool to be able to do something like that. Let's see. May 27th through the 29th at the Venetian. So we could be back in Vegas with the Solid Index. I don't know. It's very interesting. Good idea. we need to be out there, and we need to be in front of the ETH guys for sure and the Bitcoin guys. I mean, we have a lot to say and a lot to offer, so that's good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And especially, like I said, if the macro sentiment is changing and Ethereum is performing well, I'm pretty sure we are as well. And listen, like it's important to make gatherings anytime, really. But I think it's even more important when the sentiment is high, because people are more interested about knowing more about it, about learning about the community, and because they see there's successful people making money, and that's the best marketing to bring people. Is like, hey, you want to join the making money team? You know what I mean? So it becomes just more easier than when we are at lows, but it's also possible, of course.
Thoughts on, do you guys want to look at some charts here for like 3 minutes? We'll just like scan through the index charts and we could do that.
I'm down to watch some of your TA for sure.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do a live session with you commenting as I don't think that anyone's ever seen that live before. So let's see.
Yeah, sure.
I'll probably pick, let's see here. Share that. All right. SJ, you can pull it up now. If you're there, hopefully you're there. Sweet. Okay, so let's start with just the macro context. I haven't done a chart session for the public in a while, so I'm just going to give you guys like the quick and dirty, kind of what I covered on Monday night. So the dollar currency index, right, measures the dollar's relative strength versus the other world currencies, and it's in a kind of like a bear flag pattern. I believe that this ultimately could rally back to this level here at 106, and then it's going to tank. That's good for crypto. So like typically like the markets do well. When I say markets, I mean like equities and crypto. They do the best during these periods where there's huge declines in the dollar. And so we're just looking for that next big break. But that structurally doesn't come until you break this. Oh, sorry. Just lost my channel.
So do you agree these retracements basically mean that people are turning dollar into assets?
Yes. Also, just like, global liquidity is breaking out. So there's more and more of this stuff going to be printed. And if it's not the US doing it, it's China doing it, which has systemic effects. And then so we're going back into a more of an easing period. That's pretty well known at this point. So what keeps me confident in the Bitcoin narrative is like how strong gold has looked. So like gold has continued to overperform Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin tries to catch up. Let me see if I can throw this on here quick. BTC, switch it to a new scale. Okay, so you could see here, like, look here. So gold is the bars and the purple line is Bitcoin. But here, gold led out of the bottom by a few weeks, probably about 8 weeks. It led out of the bottom. And then only in the period where we were going into the ETF launch did Bitcoin actually take a lead. But then on this last leg, gold led and then Bitcoin caught up and now gold is leading again. So I believe this is just going to be like a tempo where you're going to want to keep an eye on the BTC gold ratio over the next 4 to 8 years, potentially, as they kind of oscillate and slosh money back and forth between these two appreciating assets, right? And one is super liquid and one is becoming more liquid every day. And then with that, I think like we're seeing like strong bounce here on the equities. So to me, we're getting ready to start to kick the engines back up. It could be a longer extended correction, but generally speaking, when you're looking at Ethereum, this is on a very old support. So this is an important chart. Like we're touching support that was set back in 2020 at the bottom of COVID. That's literally what we're riding on. So like supported all the way through this period. I would argue that we're probably not going to lose these levels just because it's not economical to do that at this point. They would the market maker would much rather probably just see that thing trend sideways. In here in a range for, until the end of the year and then pop it out versus letting it, depreciate. So there's also a shortage of yeah. I mean, and like there could be like not to say that you can't get a manipulation low and then something like this, but generally speaking, ETH just taking longer to build back up some sort of like a reversal pattern. And so what that does for us is in the PulseChain communities, we really have to pay attention to this Pulse and ETH ratio. This is basically the only chart that you need to know is holding to know that we're holding our value against Ethereum. And so we're back testing the lows right now. We lost this kind of structure we were building, but as long as we can just keep PulseChain ranging above those, like and not closing maybe weekly candles below these candle bodies back here, like we should be okay. Now there's no guarantee. So basically, like on a long time frame, when you zoom this bitch out, like as long as these literally they could just do this for like the next 2 year to 2 years and just build out, but eventually it's going to start to gain on Ethereum just because it's pump it's a pump proven technology. It's super illiquid. It's so in any event where ETH is pumping, we're going to pump more. So
exactly. And if I may say something, Axis, the same way Richard used to say, like volatility is the price you pay for the best performing asset, and when last cycle when things were reaching the top, he was like, who else needs to buy? Elon Musk already bought, Trump already bought, and it was kind of the situation recently when Trump was being elected and so on. But to our ecosystem, like specifically and PLS, the situation right now, the point of the state of things, it's like what else can can go wrong in this community? Like, what more FUD can we have? And it's, if you think about it, it's hard to find more FUD at this point, because we already had a lot of like events that kind of attach on each other or snowball from there to the downside. And I'm so bullish now. I really cannot see PLS breaking that trend line that you have on the chart. I think we will never break it ever again, maybe. And if we do, it's just temporarily. And once we go back up and we bounce, we will never ever again return to these levels. That's my opinion.
So just to give the bear case, because I saw a smart ass comment, like if you lose these levels, if you close below here on a weekly basis, we're taking another like 50% move down. Like we're going to be down here.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And you know what could take it there is if the PDI minter can just keep extracting just enough to get us down here. Now that if that occurs, the amount of LP left in the pools bonded to all that stuff is going to really be at a ratio that's so insignificant that this could quickly shoot back out of here. But just keep in mind that closing weekly candles below there is not good. So holding a weekly candles above there is really good.
Yeah, it's a good point, and that's why some projects like 9inch and PTGC, they could remove the LPs they still have. I know PTGC, maybe they have locked LPs. I'm not sure. I heard they have. and then they say they don't, but I go there and I see big amounts of LPs still paired with PTGC and UFO and PDI, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But yeah, we need to squeeze the problem to avoid it from going even lower, I think.
Mm-hmm. So then
But
safe havens are like PulseX, right? Safe haven. It's not as susceptible to USD loss in the same way as Pulse is, but because they're connected. So basically, if you have any faith that Pulse will recover one day, your value is getting stored better in PulseX and Inc. right now, where they're holding in like this range bound formation versus PLS.
Yeah, and it makes sense for the simple reason that PLSX will always be deflationary, and Inc., even though it was reduced the inflation like by 96%, I think it was something like that, it's still inflationary, and PLSX is not. So on the long run, PLSX should outperform all the core tokens, in my opinion.
Drunken Sailor Bot will take it to Valhalla.
And you were talking about, just before you go on, buddy,
mm-hmm.
You were talking about gold and how it's outperforming all the other assets at the moment. And that's an interesting fact because historically Bitcoin, outperforms gold quite easily. But now I think there's a lot of things happening. There's like the war situation, a bit of uncertainty. People go to hard assets. And there's also like the BRICS countries, which, by the way, I don't know if American audience realizes, but the BRICS countries, they have a bigger economy altogether than the West, all the West together. And they are considering to build their own currency. And their own currency will be made of the currencies of the nations of the BRICS together with the gold backing. So coming back to the gold standard. So they are considering coming back to the gold standard and make a currency to fight the dollar, so to speak. So I think that's also the speculation that is making gold perform really well, is the kind of whole macro scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns with the Federal Reserve as well, and the longevity of a lot of this stuff. And so this is happening at a time where, here's your global liquidity index. It's broken out. So let me throw this on a regular. Okay, so this is your breakout level. You could see, just anyone with simple pattern recognition can see that there's like a build-up period, and then there's like the retest, and then it goes. So here's your build-up period, breakout, retest. Now you're starting to form like a consolidation structure before the money printer goes burr. So once that happens, like this period here was from 2020 April of 2020 until and the money printing stopped in March of 22, and this was where the last big crypto cycle really occurred. So we're just waiting for that sort of a move on the macro setup. So what does that look like time frame wise? If it plays out the same exact way, you're looking at like from August of this year through August of 2027. So imagine like money printer go burr and then peaks out up here and then starts to taper off, and so your bull market is extended on risk assets.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, what do you think about this theory? I don't know if I am right, but it feels to me, the way I see stuff, I get the feeling like right now we cannot turn the money printer on yet because you have the Doge situation taking care of some of the waste and corruption on the US government. And the Doge will keep going until June. I think it ends at June or July. So my guess was that the Trump is basically cleaning as much of the waste and corruption, from the government spending as much as they can before they turn the money printer back on again. So I think what they're trying to do is they want to give the money to the right people, to the right businesses, to the right people. And
it gives us about 84 days on this liquidity chart then left. So like a 90 days, one more quarter till we're at mid-June.
Maybe by then we start the world supply starts to increase the liquidity. It would
be a counter seasonal thing because typically summers are kind of like a dead period for crypto, but this could be different, because Q1 was such a lackluster this year. When I thought it was going to be a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I also was more bullish. But I think you saw like Bitcoin was running for a long time and BlackRock was accumulating so much and was running the show on Bitcoin mostly. And, you know, it also
And
felt
yeah,
like it was
between
in the
Sailor
cards
and
to have a
BlackRock, they're
retracement.
just they have so much that we actually know like that their incoming capital. See that so I probably don't want to spend too much time on this, but because you brought up BlackRock and Michael Saylor, I brought that up. It's like these guys are in it for like 20 to 40 billion more, like that they're going to buy. So, but at some point you got to wonder how much longer can Michael Saylor sell the premium on his stock to buy Bitcoin at before he is so over levered that the whole thing comes crashing down. I think the price of Bitcoin is a lot higher at that point, personally. So I wouldn't be scared at this point in the cycle that was going to be over too soon. But definitely that's on the back of my mind a couple years out from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. And I think he was even close to getting liquidated recently, right? On
I'm
his
sorry.
position.
Oh,
I think Saylor.
I don't know. There's a lot of that FUD that comes up from time to time, but he's probably has a lot of options at his disposal at this stage.
Exactly.
Well, hey.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. That's another one. Like we have a guy that is really trying to, like Richard Hart, to build cool stuff, and he's a pioneer in the space, and so on. And then you see plebs like Michael Saylor that were like flaming and saying bad things about Bitcoin not long ago, and then you see this guy on the White House Oval Office, representing crypto instead of our guy, which is really fighting for crypto. Yeah.
I want the days back of Richard on Fox and stuff. Those were good days. We made it, man. Fox Business.
Yeah, man. I really miss it as well. I don't know if it's coming back, but I hope so.
We're here. So I think we believe it's coming back. So let's just touch on the solid index charts here quick. I'll start with Axis. In a logarithmic, it's been forever up. Right now, liquidity is lower than it's been in the past, but the market makers are in control. And if you throw like a VPVR on this, I think like the average price we're above the all-time average price at around 275 million PLS. So it looks like there's a floor getting put in here at this current stage. And now that we've gotten rid of a lot of that PDI liabilities, it's going to free up the prices of our tokens to move a little bit easier. So like inside of here, Axis is a spectacle of what happened with PDI, because there's a hard floor and it's deflating every day, and there's only like 420 coins, so like you can actually track the supply at a good enough degree to actually see the effects of PDI on the chart through its bonded pairs. So like this period here was all PDI dragging it down. So at this period there was about 5 million PDI bonded to it, and it just sucked the value away. There was not really, I think there was one Axis seller that sold like a quarter of a coin in that whole move, and everything else was just minting and inflating away and deleting value. So then you get protection that comes in a couple times, but each time this was all the same. That was the exploiter through connected pairs. But so now that but during this period of time, like I was tracking some of these wallets, like there was one wallet that accumulated like 25 coins off market, which is like
nice,
an incredible amount. I think it's like 7 or 8% of the entire community supply. So it sets up nicely for upside potential here. Solidex is one of its biggest bonded pairs now, and we saw like a structural key break of this channel, and now instead of like what was happening before, where like this would just roll over and fade because it would keep getting drained through the pools, now that it's going to start to float more easily at this point, especially when richer tickers start to move.
When the core starts to move, yeah, totally agree. It's a bit lighter as well now. I made it lighter, so to speak. We don't have the P copies up potential anymore, but we have PulseX potential, which is buying burning forever. And with Pump.tires, PulseX is burning even faster. I think people should realize that Pump.tires is increasing the burn dramatically as well.
Couple other tokens here. Let's look at we'll look at Fire.
And what about Hexfire? Yes.
We'll look at Fire here, and we'll look at Nope. And some comments. So fire is still going through its basically, I mean, Crispy, you can speak to this better than I. You have a really good grasp of the LP here, but it just finally tapped the 618 on this logarithmic move. This was like a 600x over like 30 days or something. So like this whole period has been a many combination of many factors where there's been this retracement, but it finally hit there after 346 days. That would be a good area to bottom, right on the 618. So
it's looking good. Very nice chart, actually.
The thing to keep in mind with this particular one, I think one of the big opportunities is on the PHUX exchange. There's a pool called Pyre. I think it's called
Pyre.
And,
Pyre.
Yeah. You want to talk to this a little bit?
Pyre.
The Pyre. Yeah. So everybody knows my favorite things are hex, so it made sense that this be a e-hex, hex, and hex fire pool. And so we've been, people have been putting votes towards it, and it's paying pretty good on the 2-flux, right? So I can't read it on the screen for what its actual APR is on PHUX, but I know it's been ranging. Yeah, it's been ranging on 2-flux pretty high.
So it's fire, P-hex, and E-hex. That's a cool pool.
Yeah, it's because I like to lean that way. So 36% according to their numbers right now, right? So it's a good way for me to put fire to work with hex.
Exactly.
So my thoughts on this particular pool is during this period here where it's been into, so here you're paying 36%, some days more if 2-flux increases in price more, obviously if more votes get added. Now I think it's a cool situation for a couple of reasons. If you have already fire, you could go into that pool, and in any event, if hex starts to move, it's going to drag fire up with it. If fire moves, which it's pretty illiquid, so it can be moved quite easily, you could see like these kinds of price moves again in the future potentially, right? And if it were to occur in that same way, you'd get a ton of impermanent gain on that pool in form of both of the hexes. So the idea there was to try to find a cool way to bond, to give us a place in the bonding of E-hex and P-hex. And
actually,
also there's
this
like
pool,
other pools. Didn't you have a pool on here as well?
I think I had the ink, the Firewall pool, ink in Solidex. Firewall. Yeah.
Here. You were going to say about the fire pool though?
Yeah, I think in essence, what the Chrispyman is doing as well with this pool, he's also like supporting the 1-to-1 X parity dream. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
it definitely goes in that direction for sure. I mean, it wouldn't make it happen, of course, but what it does is gives people a place to put hex to work and earn a higher APR than currently with staking. Even though I'm not fading staking, I'm still doing my staking ladder, but I recognize a lot of people holding liquid. That's why things like this, things like the farms on the, there are other pools, etc. on 2-flux, the farms on 9-inch, etc. I mean, there's lots of places where people can earn. Actuators, a big protocol we've been talking about lately. Just ways to put your hex to work.
Yeah, of course, different tools to provide yield and make the price performance stable. The chart is really nice, I have to say the fire chart, the sellers, there's no big sellers on that chart, I think. It looks like the X-Fire was more being affected maybe by the LP with Solidex, and that's why it was going down, for example, rather than the X-Fire user selling. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think certainly that's true. And then from a liabilities perspective, yeah, I do see people come in and out, and a lot of people will come in order to obtain access or Solidex. So I see a lot of action that way. Passing through because of liquidity, sir. Right. So.
Exactly.
And then we had the new launches. Looks like we're in a bit of a retracement here on these, but they're all bonded together or not?
That's a good question. I wanted to ask you guys. What do you think? Should I bond them with Solidex, or what's your opinion?
Okay, so because whoever's here now is going to get a pretty good little snippet. Something, we'll give you some information that we would talk about with some of the current stuff. So I'm putting this to test on a current setup. Now, talking about this is going to probably not make it so easy to move anymore, but because you guys are probably going to screw it up. But so the boardroom is my paid membership group, and those guys were ideating and came up with this idea to create the Pain Chain token in light of recent events and how powerful this downside move has been. We're all in quite a bit of pain. So
the pain, we love the pain.
pain.
But remember, this was like a month ago, so it's not. That was.
So it's a month and 18 days old, and obviously Crispy had a hand in this, but the boardroom, like, they came up with this idea. They launched it on Pump.tires. It took a few hours for it to actually graduate. It didn't just pump right out of there. So I actually didn't even really start paying attention to it too much until after this candle was printed, and then I started paying attention to it. But so I don't even catch everything that's going on in the group. But so cool though, right? This thing's up like 30x, I think 35x. And in this period, there was a bond created with Alive. And because of the way that Alive has, and by the way, this is going to answer your question, Firewell, the way that there was at that time about, like, I think 20 grand of Pain and Pulse locked into this pool, bricked into here, it's like, okay, well, if I can just make another 20 grand pool between Alive and Pain, there's an equal amount on both of those pools. And those are pretty much the only pools that exist. Those like 2 20 grand pools. So any buy pressure that gets pushed through this thing, it's going to get split evenly in half. And so what we found was that you can get a huge pump out of this chart because it's got only one major pool, now 2. You can get a pretty good pump out of this chart. And then because Alive doesn't have a lot of pulse backing it, Alive and Pain are sharing the same pulse through the Pain pulse pool. So what ends up happening is you get something like this where, Alive gets basically carried for free up 135% over 4 days because Pain's pumping and it's relying on Pain's pulse backing and not its own. So they're basically effectively mirrors of each other in the same way that, maybe like the Atropapida example, right?
Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of when Solidex was launched. We paired with Axis very early, and Axis got a huge pump from Solidex initial day performance, right? Like in the first 11 days.
The whole index was one cohesive move up. All 4 tokens, like Fire did the best. I think it did like a 600x or something like crazy. And so like the what makes this actual situation work is what I said about how they're all kind of sharing one liquidity source and they're bonded to each other, but they don't have their own liquidity source. So in this case, if you were going to take these and bond them together, you'd want one of them to be the main one, and then maybe that's the X game, maybe it's not. I don't know. Will you pick? Like maybe it's Firewell. One of them has to be the main one, and then the other ones kind of can touch into it.
So I can explain my decision on the supply, how much of the supply to take, and I decided to take max supply on X game and Solidex because I want these 2 tokens to have a higher market cap and look bigger, on Dex Screener and Dex Tools, like look more inflated compared to Firewell, which is kind of legacy token. But then on Firewell, I allowed the community to get a bigger slice of the pie, like bigger share of the supply. So the reality is that I have less control on the price performance of Firewell, but at the same time, people have a chance to be more invested on that token compared to the other 2. Which one I prefer? Like, I don't prefer any. I prefer all of them. Now they are all my tokens, the original Solidex and these extra 3, and I will support all of them. And I will discuss with Axis and Crispy and Randy, how to set the LPs, what moves to make. But at the end of the day, they are my tokens, and I like them, and I will support them. Yeah.
So yeah, I can think with that little bit. I think I know enough now that we'll talk about maybe an option how to bound these
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. That's
Even I
that's
wanted to talk about to you to maybe
Yeah.
you could also, you and Crispy could also create a token on Pump.tires, maybe.
we've been leveraging this one, so we could do another one too. But yeah, this is the one we're leveraging
So
right now
that's
to
your
try to get some
okay.
results. Well, I actually didn't
Very
create
nice.
it or even I found out about this one here. So yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not
it's
create
okay.
it either or come up with a name. It was a good name though. Good name. I like it.
Pain chain. And the logo is nice with the chains.
It's the pain chain. Who isn't
Embrace.
feeling the pain? Who is not feeling pain?
Exactly. Listen, Crispy, it's it's in extremes is when people are more alive and for the good and bad reasons. But at least it was very nice to see when all the FUD was when all the community was becoming aware of the situation and they were discussing it. The community really got together, and started to discuss, trying to help each other to see the right way or try to understand at least what's going on. And that just shows the strength of this community and what has been built behind it, that we are still here together even when we are all wrecked. Literally all of us are wrecked. And I can tell you my personal case, because at some point I had a portfolio over $75 million of my PulseChain assets, over 75 million, and now I'm sitting like about 10 million, you see. So I think very few people lost as much money as I did in this ecosystem, but I still believe and I'm still here and I will still try my best. And if it goes down, I will go down with it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. And that's, you know. But I believe that this is just like people are saying, nothing else bad can happen. I think I cannot see a lot of more bad news coming. And as soon as the macro sentiment starts to change, we will see a slingshot kind of situation. I really believe in the slingshot theory, because this is the moment where people, in terms of emotional control, they can't take it anymore. We've saw big players in the ecosystem exiting their bags almost completely at the lows. I know so many guys that are almost out completely, and the reality is that this is the worst moment to sell. Absolute worst moment to sell.
Yeah.
Yes, it can go down 50%, like Axis was saying. Yes, it's possible. But I think it's more possible that it goes down 4x in one day or something, or, and then it will be too late to get the bags people had before. That's just how it's going to play out. So, yeah, I can only see good things coming from here onwards. And I hope the community start also going in that way and trying to move on from stuff. Don't stay stuck on the same things. And, we need to move on as a community, and we need to move on to a better place. And I'm pretty sure this better place will come even still this year. I'm confident that by the end of this year, we will all be super happy, to be honest. But we
End
will
of
see.
Q3, Q4, we're going to be feeling a little bit better, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, guys.
And even this summer might be the DeFi summer. Let's see.
Oh yeah, dude! Don't rule out a potential contrary to regular seasonality here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely prefer DeFi summer to hot girl summer. I'm about it. Let's go.
DeFi summer.
Exactly. And
3.0.
the same way that it was a bit unexpected, this current crash that we are having, because everybody thought, oh my God, 2025, it's the 4-year cycle year, the sacred pattern that was never broken out. Is let's buy and let's long Bitcoin like never before. And then like 40-50% crash. And here we are. So yeah, just we just need to stay strong and build. And when the time comes, we will be there to enjoy it.
Wagme. We're all going to make it, guys. We really are.
Wagme.
Especially those that have held through all of this and continued to build and continued to stay positive and, be the community, right? Like that's who I feel is really going to get rewarded the most. So awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen. What a awesome stream. So much alpha. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pull the panel down. You guys can chit chat for a minute on your own. Hold on. Here we go. What a blast. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this fantastic panel. We got more alpha than we had signed up for, but hey, that's not a bad thing ever. So yeah, if you haven't already, please come over to youtube.com/@PulseChain Tour Live and give us a subscription and a like. Tickle that like button. We're going to be having a lot more content coming out. We had a professional videographer and photographer at the event. So stay tuned to that channel for more great, just kind of wrap up videos and just to get an idea of what we're going to be even better next year. You guys, I'm super excited. So happy to be a part of this community. And thanks again for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.